Hello, sir. Thank you so much for having us here on behalf of collegedunia.com. It's a pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you. You're most welcome to this university anytime.
How are you, sir?
All well, by God's grace.
So I have a lot of questions I need to ask you today. And as you know, collegedunia.com is a leading education portal which provides students information regarding colleges, courses, and exams. We have a lot of students sending in their questions, and all of these questions, I'm going to ask you, which are the most asked questions today. So shall I start, sir?
Sure.
Lovely. So first, the most asked question by the students is, why Bennett University? What makes Bennett University so different from other leading universities in the country, and what makes it the university of choice for students?
So there's a belief which we have, which is the core thing to us. See, education is basically built on three pillars. One is the content and the quality of content itself, what you teach. Second is the delivery, which is, the people who will teach it. And the third placement, which is the third most critical pillar, post the content that you have, post the delivery that you've done. Because the outcome of all of that is going to be reflecting in where the students are getting placed. So if you look at Bennett in that scenario, so the way we build our curriculum is we have a very deep connect with industry, right? So we don't build curriculum just because a curriculum has to be built. For whether it's a BTech, whether it's a BBA, whether it's journalism. We actually go and talk to the industry experts. We have many of them who behave as mentors with us. And from them, we understand where is the industry going, what are the kind of new technologies, new methodologies which are coming into play, where are the skill gaps. Based on that, there is a curriculum build, which gets reviewed by them. And then it gets reviewed by the Board of Studies, where we have a lot of industry representation. And subsequent to that, it gets implemented as a curriculum. So you've got a skill gap mapped. You're filling that up with the content. To deliver that, and if you look at Bennett, nearly 95% of our faculty are PhDs. And they're from all across places like IITs, triple ITs, NITs, and even foreign universities. Plus, we have postdoctoral research fellows, right? So the people who will teach are the people who are themselves achievers.
Right.
And subsequently, if you look at what comes out, so last year was the first batch of BTech students who passed out. And the average salary which they got across the batch was about 7 lakhs plus.
Okay.
And 1 in every 4 kids actually got placed at more than 10 lakhs per annum.
That's great.
This year, as we speak, nearly 60% of our current batch is placed, which is passing out this year, graduating. And their average right now is very close to about 8.5 lakhs. So I think that outcome gets connected to where we are. And that is why we believe that, we will be the university of choice.
Right.
Because of what we deliver, how we deliver, and how the student then progresses in professional life.
So, sir, I'll get back to Bennett University a minute later. Talking about you, if I'm not wrong, you are the alumnus from BITS Pilani as well.
Yeah.
And other than that, in your career as well, you've held several key positions in the past over 30 years, I think. So, what ideologies did you learn, from there that you picked up from your past that you would like to bring to Bennett University's future?
Good, actually, it takes me back to more than 30 years back when I joined BITS. See, one of the key things which at that point of time was differentiating BITS was it was not a pure techie who was going to come out.
Right.
There were a huge amount of things which were done outside of the classroom. Not just developing you as a, let's say, as a student or studious student, but you had enough opportunities in terms of various clubs and activities which were done, which were some of them academic, some of them non-academic. When I came into Bennett, I realized we have a lot of clubs. And I think we take pride in the fact that we encourage a lot of our students to participate in all kinds of activities, be it sports, be it theatre, be it music. So if you look at it, 2 of our students have published books. There are a number of them who actually recorded professionally songs, right? And there are a number of students who are co-authoring books. So we encourage them. We've got, I mean, sports champions and winners in that. So I think overall development is as critical as the kind of knowledge you impart. Because at the end of the day, in the corporate world, when they go out, it's not just the knowledge or academic knowledge which will work for them. It is also how they will work with people, teamwork, the way they communicate. And we've also plugged quite a bit of soft skills into the curriculum itself.
Right. So, sir, one of the most pressing matters right now is the COVID pandemic. It has, affected literally everyone, and students are no different. And one of the major shifts, the sudden shifts that happened in the education sector was from offline to online education. So how did Bennett University, evolve and adapt themselves to this particular change?
So we were very quick in moving from offline to online classes.
Right.
If I'm not wrong, we were one of the first few who actually conducted all our exams online, even before the so-called expected time of exam was defined by UGC or AICTE. And we conducted close to about 16,500 plus online exams last year by May itself, middle of May. And faculty has been very well aware of this shift happening, and they've adapted very well to that. And we've invested quite a bit of money in the various softwares and tools which are needed by faculty to make these classes effective. And I think a lot of it will continue to add value once the physical classes begin.
So, being the CEO of this fine university, how do you keep the students motivated and basically encouraged and engaged in the online classes as well?
No, I think it's got a lot to do with the motivation of the faculty itself, which keeps the students going. And I think we have a fairly good set of students which complement the talent of the faculty. So that way, I don't think people need people like me to motivate them.
Okay, lovely. So, sir, just like masks are the new normal, I think blended mode of learning is the new normal when it comes to the education industry. So, how exactly is Bennett University, shaping itself through this new teaching methodology?
So, one, of course, is that we are going to be open for physical classes. And there's a fair amount of work which will get done in physical classes. But a good learning from this particular lockdown period has been that there is still quite a bit which can be done by the students online. So, which may be post the classes, which may be during the weekends. But there is quite a bit which can still be done online. And we're going to continue doing that. So that they not just learn what they learn in a class, but they also learn a lot of stuff outside of class. Yeah, see, because so it's like this, when all of these guys and girls will pass out and they go to a corporate. Now you're not going to be, no one is going to be there to handhold you and teach you everything, right? So that whole ability to learn on your own has to be inculcated right from now. The other thing which I truly believe in, and I think that's another thing which lockdown period has, underlined, is you don't have a 9 to 5 day.
That is true.
And especially when you are preparing yourself to enter the big bad world of corporates. Corporates don't work 5 hours a day or 6 hours a day or 8 hours.
You need to train your own thinking, your own time schedule according.
So this is a time period where students really need to get into that groove of 8-10 hours a day, be it partly in class and partly on their own, because this is what will prepare them for the future.
So taking the same thought forward, I was wondering, that the digital footprint of a university is playing a very significant role. So at such times, partnership with companies such as ours, that is collegejunior.com, how exactly is it benefiting the students and the universities, etc.?
So I tell you why. So one, of course, there is no doubt and there is no second guessing that the world is going digital.
Right.
Especially this generation, which is currently at the stage of getting into colleges, or people who are already in colleges. I think they are far more tech savvy and digital savvy than people of my generation. Right? So there is no option to begin with. The second thing which happens, and I think a huge benefit which digital brings in, is you are then not bound by geographical boundaries. You can reach any part of the world through digital media. The good thing which we feel about your company is that it gives a lot of information which a child would be looking for. Okay, and there are no, at least I have not seen till now, any hidden agendas in the communication being done. And we also believe that, we have to be transparent with the parents and the students. There is all the possibility that, someone may want to do something which we don't have. And therefore, we have no right to force fit that student or the parent into a particular program that we have. So I think that way this relationship has pretty good potential.
Lovely. So talking about College Dunia again, I noticed that on the website, on the microsite of Bennett University, a lot of students had shown concerns regarding the fees. Okay. So at this point of time, I would like to tell our audience that Bennett University is quite liberal when it comes to giving scholarships, of course, to the deserving candidates. So, sir, I wanted to know, that you can tell the students about some of the good scholarship opportunities that are in store for the students.
So one of the things I definitely want to say is that we have a lot of regard for merit. And we don't want to do it like typically without naming. Typically a lot of universities do, where you have a set standard scholarship band which applies to every program. So if you have 95% and above, you get 100%, you get, let's say, 100% scholarship. But the same 95% cutoff will be applied whether it's to BBA, whether it's to BTech, whether it is to journalism, whether it is to law, etc. We do it very differently because we've seen and we've analyzed some data where people wanting to do certain kinds of courses, they fall in certain kind of percentage marks bands. So we've customized all those scholarships. It's available on the website for Bennett University. And we believe that each of those programs and the people coming with a certain merit for those programs, they deserve a certain scholarship. So we are happy to give that. In fact, nearly 72% and above of our students are scholarship holders.
Okay, lovely. So, sir, using platforms like collegedunia.com and other medias, I believe, that there's no limit or bound from where the students are coming from to universities right now. So, how do you encourage students coming from diverse backgrounds and diverse, different parts of the country to Bennett University?
So, see, there are two parts to any such, digital endeavor, let me say. So while a College Dunia or my social marketing team would be able to reach out to the corners of India, but the whole effectiveness is only there if you have someone on the ground supporting it. So consciously over years, we've built a team which is spread across the country. And there are hardly, I think, a few areas where we may not be able to reach, but I think 80% of the country is covered by our people across the ground. And we got fairly seasoned senior people. Their aim is very simple. There has to be transparency and there has to be genuine career guidance. It is not about selling. It is not about selling seats.
Okay.
It's purely about what do various careers hold. How do programs at Bennett help them do that? Finally, in any case, the choice is with the student and the parent. Right. So we have people spread across the country, right from covering right from Jammu Kashmir down to Kanyakumari.
Hello. So now that the COVID pandemic is almost over, I think that the students will now be rejoining the institutes by August, I think. So what are some of the new programs in store for the students?
So what we've done this year is we have now, we used to have 6 specializations in BTech computer science. We've added 3 more. So now we cover 9 out of the top 15 industry required specializations, which corporates want. Similarly, we had introduced a Bachelor of Computer Applications last year, BCA, which had 2 specializations. We've added 3 more to that. The interesting one being a BCA in Artificial Intelligence, along with 4 others. We are introducing certain programs at the master's level in law, because we believe there's potential for that and there's a requirement in the market. Plus a very interesting program we are launching this year, which is a BA in film and television production. Okay. So maybe a year down the road, some of those students would be making a film like this. So and we believe these are programs which have a lot of interest. And the uniqueness about all our programs, new or old, is two things. One, we have something called an option of doing a minor. Okay, so while if you're doing, let's say, you're doing law, okay, while you're doing law and that is your major degree, you also have an option to take about 4 or 5 subjects, which could be of your interest in, let's say, IT. And you say, tomorrow I want to create a business in my law by going online and creating some kind of a setup. So you would want to learn about IT. Or let's say you are doing BTech, right? But you are someone who wants to run on their own and not get into a job. So you can pick up subjects which are available in BBA to add on to the minor. Yes. And then similarly, we also have something called honors program. So where a BTech CSC with the specialization can do another 6 additional subjects to deepen his knowledge. So that way we have been very, very different from most of the players in the market. And I think this is all the direction and the thinking is to bring out a holistic student, to give the chance to a student to follow their passion and not force fit them into anything.
So I think these are some great, programs that a student's going to look forward to. One thing that I was very intrigued about, I wanted to know what kind of support, Bennett University is getting from Times Group.
Okay. So, plain and simple, the kind of corporate connects which the Times Group has through its own maybe 20, 25 different companies, that turns out to be very beneficial for us. To give you an example, we do something called a CXO series, where we get the C-level people from various industries and various companies to come and actually talk to the students, give them knowledge about what happens in corporate life, etc. I think one of the earliest ones was the chairman of Nestle, India. So we've had many of those series. That is one of the things which we get from Times Group. The other, of course, is, so if you look at our media programs, journalism and mass communication and all. I mean, we've got the best of the best in the industry, whether you look at TV journalism, whether you look at print, whether you look at OTT platforms, all of those people are primarily in the Times Group.
Right.
So they are people who actually come take classes, they come and give, real life scenarios and cases. And I think it's a huge exposure.
Right.
The other thing which, and given this, the strong financial backing of the group, we've been able to invest a lot in what we create as labs over here.
Right.
So our journalism students, for example, they use the latest software which is actually used by commercial houses. It's not a dummy software. It is not something which they use here but is not being used in the corporate world. Absolutely. So you look at some of our studios, they are better than some of the commercial studios. Right. We are one of the only universities who has a supercomputer.
Okay.
The only private university, let me put it like that, which has a supercomputer. So we've got dedicated labs from NVIDIA. We've got about 120 or 150 Mac across the campus. So these are not small numbers. And these are not very affordable numbers across the place. So as far as infra goes, as far as quality of faculty goes, with the backing of the group, we don't have a worry on that.
Lovely. I'm pretty sure this is very informative for all the aspiring students. All students want to pursue any course from Bennett University. So one last question that I wanted to ask was, any suggestions or advice that you would like to give to the aspiring youth and the current students, considering that you yourself have been in the industry for over 30 years now?
My favorite question. So my advice always to kids who are passing out and people who are going to begin their journey into higher education. See, it's very tempting to look at your neighbor or look at your surrounding and say, okay, so This man has 2 cars, he has a 4-bedroom house, and he started 20 years back at a salary which is, 10% of what I'm going to earn, and therefore we run after money. Typically, in the first 10 years of professional life, on an average, people change about 3 jobs. My strong advice to everyone is, A, in whether you're doing a 3-year program, whether you're doing a 4-year program or a 5-year program, what you're going to do in these 3, 4 or 5 years is actually going to decide what you are going to be in the rest of the 40 years of your life. If you take this easy and treat this as a holiday, you will actually be, cribbing, crying and ranting for the next 40 years. But if you really work hard, focused, and I'm not saying work hard means number of hours, but if you're focused, if you're very clear in what direction you are taking in your time of higher education, the next 40 years can be a luxury holiday. In any case, in the first 10 years of your working life, you should only focus on learning more and more. Any role which is handed over to you, any job which is given to you, never say no. That is the only way you will add a lot more talent, a lot more knowledge to yourself. And believe me, 10 years from now, companies will run after you. You don't even have to bother to apply anywhere. That's my only advice. And I strongly believe in it. I've experienced it. I have, believe me, never negotiated my salary. I have changed 8 different industries. And the only thing which helped me do all of that was that I only focused on learning more, because there's no stopping to learning.
Right.
There's no on and off switch where you say my mind will now stop working or I will stop learning. That's my only advice.
I think that would be it. That is a very informative session for everyone and for me as well. So thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.